All right. Here's my current mental model after learning the interface. So the mental model that you've constructed is just from the affordances and from the system image as you can see it. What I've done is I've actually interacted and played around with it to try and figure out how the heck it worked. And I had stakes in this. I did not want to burn myself when having a shower. So here's my current mental model. If you turn the top to the right, water comes out from the top. If you turn it a lot, then more water comes out. So if you go to the right, it maps to the amount of water coming out. So there's a mapping there. If you go the other way, then you get a bit of water coming out of this wand. And if you push it further to the left, or in a counterclockwise position, then it will have more water coming out. So the degree away from the center for the top knob is the amount of water that comes out, and then the direction maps to, is it going up into the overhead shower head, or is it going out through the wand? The bottom actually has two different constraints that you probably couldn't see and I had to feel. So I'm cheating a little bit. Once you start interacting with the system, you get that physical feedback and you get that physical constraint that helps you learn the system. So if you turn the knob this way, you get hotter water. If you turn it that way, you get colder water. And I think this is the same as the designer's conceptual model. I was able to have a shower without burning myself or freezing, but I'm not 100% sure. My mental model may be relatively close to the designer's conceptual model. I'm able to use the system, but still kind of confusing, and there's probably something that I'm missing. So was your mental model correct? Mine wasn't initially. I had to update my mental model by interacting with the system. And so one thing you might ask is, can we break down that process to improve the design? So let's go over these terms again. The conceptual model is the model the designer conveys to the user through the interface. It involves a high-level description of how a system is organized and operates, specifying major design metaphors and analogies employed in the design, if any, concepts the system exposes to the users, including the task domain data objects users create and manipulate, their attributes, and the operations that can be performed on them, and the relationship between these concepts. Let's walk through a conceptual model. We've talked a bit about this earlier in the term, but we're going to revisit this. Metaphors and analogies could be something like the information is organized as a physical card catalog. This might be a library system. And the concepts might be, you have an item. This is with attributes. There's a title, an ISBN number, status with actions. You could check it out, check it in, reserve. So there's, attributes and actions. There's subtypes of the item. So it could be a book, it could be a periodical issue, it could be an LP, it could be a video, it could be a periodical volume. So what volume it's in, a user count that's associated with attributes like name, items checked out. And these items would be, again, these items that we've already defined. A librarian is a concept in a library. And there are relationships between these. A book is one type of item. Periodical volumes contain issues. And the way that I often think about this is it's like doing object-oriented design, where you think about or any sort of programming or system architecture where you're developing software, where you have to think about the data model and the relationships between the different data elements in there. Same thing for maybe a database schema, right? But in this case, and these might be represented with a certain attribute in that system. It may be represented with an object in an object-oriented system. But again, these are concepts, and they're ways, they may not reflect exactly how you're building the software if it's a software system. These are the concepts, and you reveal them to the user and maybe reveal some of them to the designers or other stakeholders. So how might we design a system image? Well, one way might be able to use an explanatory tool. And this is where we talk about metaphors. So I want you to quickly pause the video and write down your solutions to the following. What is a metaphor, and how can a metaphor be used in interaction design? So pause now and go.